Welcome to the Warp. I'm Jack Rita. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 aliens that you're going to want to invite along to be your ally because they're going to help you to win an encounter. So these are in no particular order, but they're 10 aliens that work as allies and increase your chances of winning encounters. So first, we're going to start off from Cosmic Storm is Porcupine. Porcupine works as a main player or an ally. So if both players have revealed attack cards, the main players and the Porcupine player's side would lose the encounter, they are able to use their power to discard any number of cards from their hand, and then they can add or subtract one for each card that they've discarded. So the Porcupine's not going to pack a lot of punch unless they have an enormously large hand of cards, and it doesn't really kick in until you need it to kick in, which is fine. You're bringing them along. You're going to add their ships to the encounter. But if it looks like you're down by a couple, they can shed a bunch of their cards. And then hopefully that'll do it. And if not, you want to hold on to your reinforcements until after Porcupine does their thing. And then hopefully that'll be enough to boost you over the edge. So it's a pretty decent alien. A lot of times it's more useful for Porcupine because it lets them get rid of cards that they don't want. And then sometimes in order to win, they have to get rid of cards that they do want to keep. But the way they win the game is by winning encounters and getting foreign colonies. So Porcupine, pretty good alien to invite along. Next alien is from the base game, and it's Human. Now, Human's always good to bring along because they get a nice +4 that they're always going to be bringing in. And then, of course, you've got your special safety net, where if anybody on your side has a cosmic zap, they can play it to zap Human. Because Human has the power of humanity as a main player or ally. After counter cards are revealed, uses power to add 4. And then if this power is zapped, your side automatically wins the encounter. It's the alien that breaks the rules for Cosmic Zap, which is seems to be fundamentally a human thing to do. So Human, often underestimated. A lot of people forget about that +4 because they're not seeing it. They're like, oh yeah, that's right, there's 4 more. You're already winning. And then, then you got reinforcements or whatever going in there. So Human, pretty good. From Cosmic Odyssey, we have the Magnet. Now, Magnet is going to be helpful as an ally, either because it's going to deter people from allying on the other side, or if they do, they may end up helping you to win. So you have the power to attract or repel. As a main player or an ally, after alliances are formed, you may use this power to force one offensive ally to become a defensive ally or vice versa. Cannot use this power to choose yourself. So if you are attacking somebody and you've brought Magnet along and the defense has an ally, you can use Magnet to make that ally one of the offensive allies instead. Just got to keep in mind they're either going to be getting a foreign colony. Hopefully they already have a foreign colony there. So they're not really getting anything new. That's not all that Magnet does, though, however. As a main player or ally, after alliances are formed, if you did not use the previous power, so if you did not attract somebody to your side, you may use this power to force one player in the encounter to match the same number of ships that you have in the encounter. So if Magnet only brings 1 ship and somebody was allying on the defense with 4, Magnet can either bring them to Magnet's side or say, you're only going to be bringing 1 ship. The other thing they can do is they can come in with 4 ships, and let's say one of your other allies only set 1 or 2, they can say, we're going to need a couple more. So it's not a huge boost. It's not going to be as big as some of the other aliens we're going to look at, but it gets to be in the same range as the normal amount that Human is bringing. And it can certainly help make the difference. Once somebody has been moved to your side of the encounter, they may be more incentivized to help to win so they're not losing those ships. Who knows? So Magnet, certainly not a bad idea. You want to invite Magnet to your side so that they don't get invited to the other side to cause trouble against you. Our next alien is also from Cosmic Odyssey, and it is the alternate timeline version of Brute. Brute certainly would have made this list as well, the normal one, but I find it a little too overpowered, so I don't recommend having Brute in your set. But the new Brute works pretty well. Works as an ally only, ally only. So you want to invite Brute along because after alliances are formed, you may use this power to pressure one player on the opposing side. That player must either remove all of their ships from the encounter and return them to their colonies, or allow Brute to look at a number of random cards in their hand up to the number of ships that they have in the encounter, and then Brute gets to take one of those cards. So Brute can say, all right, you need to leave this encounter with your 3 ships, otherwise I get to look at 3 cards from your hand and take one of them. So either way, it's potentially helping you to win the encounter. Certainly if you've booted somebody out, that's going to help because their ships are no longer contributing and they're not necessarily going to be playing any cards on your behalf. They can't play reinforcements, so or not on your behalf, but against you. So it can be useful, and the penalty of having to lose the cards is often enough to get somebody to agree to skedaddle. So Brute, a pretty good alien to bring along into the encounter. All right, our next alien is from Cosmic Alliance, and it is Crystal. And this is the new Crystal. Bears no resemblance to the old Eon and Mayfair Crystal, which actually, some of that effect was dialed into the new Magnet. This Crystal, power to refract, as a main player or ally, uses power after both main players reveal attack cards. Any one player on your side can discard one attack card from their hand that matches the value of their side's revealed attack card. If a player does so, multiply your side's revealed card by the discarded card's value. That is bananas. For instance, if your side reveals an 8, one player on your side can discard an 8 to change the revealed 8 into a 64. So Crystal, the potential to be an explosive ally on there, but it is card dependent. Although one of the things you can do is you can say, all right, Crystal, thinking about inviting you along. I've got an attack 6, an attack 8. I've got a couple others. What do you think? You can share that information. You just can't show people the cards unless you have an effect that lets you do so. So, yeah, you can usually coordinate pretty well. And, of course, Crystal can say, yeah, I might be able to do something about that, but they just want to be invited. Either way, they're helping you to win the encounter. But, yeah, if they're able to use their power, yeah, you're going to win that encounter. There's even if you're like, I have a 4 and you have a 4, well, that's a 16. That's already pretty good. It's better than most cards in the game. And you are talking about chances of an 8-8, pretty good. Maybe a 10-10. That's hard to beat. All right. From the base game, we have Reserve. Reserve, always handy to have as an ally. Works as a main player or an ally. Power to reinforce. After encounter cards are revealed, Reserve can use this power to play one or more attack cards valued 6 or less from their hand as if they were reinforcements. And they can also play and discard Negotiate card to cancel someone else's reinforcement. So then that secondary part is often overlooked or forgotten. So yeah, Reserve, if they've got a lot of low attack cards, they've got a lot more flexibility. And they can play reinforcements normally as well. So always good to have Reserve on there and let them contribute to the encounter. They're happy to get rid of low attack cards anyway, because that's the key to getting a new hand. Get rid of all those cards and play Negotiate to cancel a reinforcement. Pretty handy. All right, from Cosmic Conflict we have Cavalry. Cavalry is a great ally. It's ally only, and in some ways more flexible even than Reserve, but with some limitations. So as an ally, after encounter cards are selected, but before they're revealed, Cavalry can play an attack or Negotiate card face down, just like they would if they were a main player. So the second card is not considered your side's encounter card and isn't affected by any game effects that target an encounter card. But when they're revealed, you reveal your card as well. If it's an attack card, you're going to add it on there. So that's what I mean. It's more flexible. With Reserve, they were limited to cards of low value. But if Cavalry has a 15, they can play that. The restrictions, though, is they're only playing the one card. So if Reserve has a lot of low cards, they can play them all. Cavalry is playing one, but they're able to contribute a fair amount to the encounter. And of course, if what they've revealed is a negotiate card, it won't have any effect if their ally revealed an attack card. But if they negotiate it as well, then Cavalry is able to get some compensation as well. It is interesting to note that both of these aliens have the power to reinforce. So, oops, I'm sure there was a better word that could have been used for that. All right, our next 3 aliens and our last 3 aliens are all from Cosmic Odyssey. The idea of helping out as an ally and being an attractive ally was definitely something I wanted to bring to Cosmic Encounter, get more of that in there. So our first one of the last 3 is Tentacle, power of appendages. So as a main player or ally, after encounter cards are revealed, use this power. Choose one revealed encounter card that has a numerical value, and you're going to add each digit of that card to that card's value. So, for example, if you reveal a 15, that is a 1 and a 5, you're going to add a 1 and a 5 to the total, making it a 21. This was supposed to be the power of digits. It got changed to appendages. Oh, well, I guess the joke was lost, maybe. So, yeah, not a huge impact, but, you know, suddenly it makes an attack 8 or an attack 9 twice its normal value. And so, yeah, you're able to contribute. And because this works as a main player or an ally, Tentacle is great to have along. You're often going to get a bigger boost than you do with, say, human. Usually going to get more than a 4. If you play an attack 4, yeah, you're only adding 4 on there. But just about everything else, every other attack card is going to do a little bit better. 20 is only going to add a 2, but it's a 20, so you're already doing pretty well with it on there. So yeah, it's a pretty handy alien. Again, another one it's underestimated. People think, oh, it's not that much, but a lot of times your encounter totals are pretty close to the point where people are playing reinforcements and they're thinking, all right, if we get just 2 more, we're going to win. Tentacle makes it much easier for your side to win. All right, our next one is Guardian. Now, Guardian is going to be very useful as an ally, especially if the main player on Guardian's side is really committing to it. So, power to guard as an ally. After encounter cards are revealed, use this power to change the value of your ships, Guardian. And for each of your ships are worth the number of ships that the main player on your side has in the encounter. So, example, if the main player has 3 ships in it, each Guardian ship is worth 3. So if the main player brings 4 and Guardian brings 4, Guardian is adding 16 with their ships. So that can be a big deal. So Guardian, of course, if the main player, if they're defending somebody, they're helping to defend a main player who has no ships in the encounter, Guardian is contributing nothing with their ships. And if they only have 1 ship, then each of Guardian ships is only going to be worth 1. But like I said, that spread gets pretty big pretty quick the more that the main player has in. And then finally, our last one is Bubble, power to pop. So, works as a main player or an ally. Before encounter cards are selected, you may use this power by announcing "Let's pop" or making 2 pop sounds. And then what's going to happen is instead of selecting an encounter card, whoever's the main player on that side, whether it's Bubble or somebody else, can choose to select a reinforcement card as if it were an encounter card. Now, when a reinforcement card is revealed, instead of treating it, it is instead treated as an attack card, right? Equal to its value. But then what happens is all of the players on that side of the encounter can then discard, play face up any attack card and treat it as a reinforcement. So normally your range of reinforcements is pretty low. They're in the 2 to 6 range primarily, with most of them being around 3 or 4. So you're not adding a lot when you're doing that with the reinforcements. But if you have 1 reinforcement, no matter how high or low it is, it's going to let you to then play attack cards, which of course, as you know, have a much higher range from negative, which is not going to be helpful in this situation, but up to 40. So that can be a big deal if you're like, all right, my encounter card is a 3 because that's the reinforcement I revealed, but Here somebody has discarded a 12, and here we have a 15, and here we have a 9, and suddenly our encounter totals are enormous. So, very useful. But the fun thing about this is that it's often a deterrent, because the other side knows that if there's a lot of allies on there, they're all going to be able to throw away decent attack cards, higher than what reserve can normally throw away. Just because you're popping doesn't mean that you're actually going to play a reinforcement as an encounter card. You may not have one, but they don't know that for certain. So they may end up negotiating or playing a low card and figuring, well, I don't think I'm going to win this one, so I'm going to go ahead and toss something out that I don't want to have to play later. And Bubble has bubbled them into losing an encounter that maybe they could have won if they'd gone for it. So it's very handy for that. I love Bubble. It's one of my favorite new aliens from Cosmic Odyssey. And now there's always going to be other aliens that are good to have along, especially aliens that can bring in ships recklessly, like Zombie, for instance, or Observer is not going to lose their ships when they're an ally. And other aliens that can contribute in some ways or another. But these are the top 10, I think, that bringing them along almost always increases your chances of winning the encounter. Let me know what you think of these aliens. Let me know if there's another alien that you always want to bring along as an ally. Tell me why. And yeah, thanks for watching. That's it for this video. We'll see you again soon.